Florida State football's announced that Dalvin Cook had right shoulder surgery on Tuesday, expected to be sidelined for several months, according to Jimbo Fisher in his news conference after Wednesday's practice. It will allow sophomore running back Jacques Patrick and junior Ryan Green to take snaps with the first team during the spring game coming up this Saturday at the Citrus Bowl in Orlando. Of course, we know all we need to know about Dalvin Cook's ability, so sometimes this turns into a blessing in disguise when other guys that have far less experience and reps are able to get those snaps with the first team. Then you bring back the stud, and he's well rested as long as he can be on the mend and get some reasonable conditioning time in August and ready to play. So several months. We're looking at, early April to get us ready for the first week of September, so 5 months for Dalvin Cook to be back in play for Florida State, and a huge, huge game for the ACC and the Seminoles in particular that should gain national attention against Ole Miss on opening night. That'll be an interesting one. Guys, any thoughts about Dalvin Cook or anything else?
I was waiting. I was like, you want to talk there? As far as the Dalvin Cook injury, I think having a guy like Patrick at Florida State, first of all, Jacques Patrick was a guy that coming into the beginning of last season, he was extremely highly touted coming out of high school, but he was a raw talent. There was kind of some question marks coming out of camp about his ability to grasp the offense. With Dalvin Cook's hamstring issues for the better part of last year, I know Dalvin Cook didn't miss a ton of time. If anything, it really just kind of limited his ability in games. I know that's kind of crazy because of the numbers he still put up with an injured hamstring. But Patrick was able to go out there and make an impact when he was summoned upon. And I think that, especially with spring practice going the way it is with Dalvin Cook now obviously being out for the better part of the summer, they're expecting him back before fall camp. At least that's the hope. I think Patrick will be able to get some valuable reps because he's going to be the guy here 2 years from now is going to replace Dalvin Cook when he inevitably makes that jump to the NFL.
And one of the things that I'm actually pretty excited about comes out of the University of Miami. Anybody who watched Georgia over their time under Mark Richt knows that Georgia really liked to pound the rock and really liked to run the ball, and the number of pass attempts versus the number of rush attempts, it was really a pro-style offense. One of the more interesting position battles to keep an eye on is going to be out of Miami, where they're going to change things up. And for a team that did not run the ball well at all in yards per carry or yards per game, with a bad offensive line, they're really going to have to shake things up and get things going. And the name that people are going to need to know is Gus the Bus Edwards, as they refer to him. Gus Edwards was injured 2 weeks before or was taken out 2 weeks before the season opener. Was a short yardage type back. Those are the types of running backs that will fare very well in the Mark Richt offense, and I am very excited to see what happens down at Miami with a new style offense. It might not be as exciting as I think people want. I think people sometimes want to see guys flying all over the field and rushing up and throwing it and chucking it. I know fans generally like that more because it looks better, but Miami's going to be a pound the rock type team, I think, under Richt, and Gus the Bus is going to be a name that we're all going to have to take note of out of Miami. At least that's what I'm hearing, and that's what I'm reading out on State of the U.